Hi, hello everybody. Welcome back to Nature Talks. So today is our 30th podcast. That's 30 podcasts have been done since we started in Feb, and this is April now. We're halfway through April, so I say we're doing pretty good. We're planning to start with a weekly podcast. In between, it became more regular, and at times it becomes slower because of all the field work that's going on. Now, there's a lot of crazy things happening in the world these days. If you follow our Twitter page, you'll get to see all the stuff that we've been seeing on our feed, because everyone gets a different feed, right? So on our feed, we have all the environment-related stuff happening all over the world. Firstly, there's this crazy story in Fort Lauderdale in Florida. So that's in USA, and we've been seeing these crazy videos and pictures of the level of water over there. There's some floods going on there, and people are stuck over there. They're having a tough time, and I have been in Fort Lauderdale. I've driven around there, so I know that place. I've seen the place, and to see these kind of pictures and videos of that place underwater, so it's quite scary. I mean, the water is like halfway up to the cars. Cars can't be driven basically. And there were some videos of the journalists who had gone to interview people over there. And one lady was saying that the journalist was the first person to reach there to ask them if they need anything. So no help or rescue has come for those people till now. And that is quite concerning. Now, we get floods here also, so it's basically why is the water not going anywhere? All this concretization everywhere, the water which was supposed to get absorbed in the soil, which was supposed to go down and recharge the groundwater table, that is all being stuck because of all the concrete everywhere. And we need to try and fix that situation. Otherwise we're going to keep getting the same problem over and over again. This is what we've seen in other places, and when there's waterlogging, then you get mosquito breeding plus all the other diseases which follow, and it's not comfortable anyway. So story has developed in Pune. Actually, we've been talking about it since the past couple of podcasts, and just yesterday there was a crazy movement over there. There were a lot of people, maybe hundreds or even probably more than 1,000 people, and all these people of all age groups, from small young children of probably 5-6 years old all the way to senior citizens were there. There was police support also. So the people made posters in the morning, and then they went out for the walk around the forest. Basically, this is a place called Vetal Tekdi, and the plan is the authorities are planning to destroy the forest by making a large road going through the forest. So the people over there who enjoy the forest, they enjoy nature, they've been educated about the benefits of a forest and trees. They are trying to save the environment over there, and this huge movement was orchestrated, and there was some drone footage also which was on Twitter. So it was quite a big audience which came out there, and it shows how many people care about the environment over there. Have you been to Pune? If you've not, it's a really amazing place. They've got huge banyan trees around on the roadsides. I remember I've just been there once, but that was a few years back, and it's got a lot more banyan trees on the roadsides than Delhi has. In Delhi, we have a lot of Alistonia, the Saptparni, the 7-leaf tree, and it's everywhere. You see it all over the city here in Delhi. So Pune is quite green, and to see these so many people connected with nature coming out to protect the forest, I think that is quite a sight to see, and everybody is getting motivated by that. there's a lot of people talking on Twitter, people giving in their support from other parts of the world. So yeah, we had this situation in Delhi also a few years ago, and it's going to keep happening in different parts of the world. There are going to be some people planning to destroy the environment. Meanwhile, all the citizens of all age groups, the taxpayers, they are going to try to protect the environment. And then it's a game to see who is the winner at the end. If we save the forest, everyone's a winner. And if the forest is destroyed, everyone's a loser. Because that's how the story has always been. Now, another crazy story on Twitter we saw was that there was a story about the Sarus crane, a young man who had rescued that crane, and now the crane is very excited to see him. The crane flies around, comes back. Anyway, the wildlife department put the crane in jail now. The crane is in a cage and it cannot fly anywhere now because it committed some crime. And amidst all this, now another story has come up that there's another person somewhere else who's befriended a crane. The crane is free and wild. It has the open skies, but the crane chooses to hang around that farm and with that person. So what will happen over there? Are they going to put another crane into jail? I don't know. These are some funny times we are living in. With the story of the crane which has been in jail now since more than a week, probably 2 weeks now, someone had started a change.org petition, and now more than 12,000 people have signed that. So we opened that petition right now and we could see the numbers just increasing by the second. So it's crazy. If you are hearing this right now, check it out, listen, go to that change.org petition of saving the crane and go sign that to help those people get the crane out of jail. It deserves to live. It's got huge wings. It's bigger than a peacock. It needs to go back into the skies. So on our Twitter, people keep posting about different trees which are flowering at different times of the year. And right now we see the Barna tree which is flowering. The Barna tree is, it's like a big flower. It's sort of like whitish yellow in color. And more importantly is that people go and worship this tree. So not just worship, a lot of people pray to this tree and ask the tree for wishes. There's a Barna tree in Lodi Garden where we see hundreds of people walking there every day, and out of that, I guess probably 1 in 10 or 1 in 15 people go up to that tree and make a wish on that tree. So whatever you wish for, you ask that tree for some wishes, and since it's so powerful, it's connected with nature, so it's supposed to make the universe work towards your wishes. So try it out. Go look for a Barna tree, make a wish to that tree, and if it comes true, let us know on this podcast. You can tell us on our social media also, so that more people get to know about this tree. Maybe you can plant some more of them so that you can make some more wishes and have an easier life. Just keep wishing for all the good stuff. No bad stuff about anyone. Just wish for good stuff for yourself, and you see how fast that comes true. Now, just yesterday we did a clay bowl distribution event in Connaught Place, where we were distributing these clay bowls to random people on the roads. These clay bowls, they're made out of mud and they keep the water cool. So in this hot summer, when all the birds and animals are dehydrated, you can keep some water in this, keep it outside your home or outside your office, and they'll come there, they'll start drinking from there. It was quite hot, so we didn't find many humans out there because of the heat. There's so much heat in Delhi right now. There's a crazy heat wave going through India right now, actually. If you see the the heat signatures on the maps, it's like most of India is red hot right now. We had like 42 or 43 degrees yesterday, and most likely this is just mid of April, so most likely by mid of May, which is the peak time, I think we are going to get around 50 degrees. 49 is common in Delhi, where you can like cook your food on the roadside, or you can cook your food on top of a car. It gets so hot. So yeah, but if we have more trees, then the ambient air temperature is much more cooler. Unfortunately, since the last few years, more than 5 trees are being cut every hour in Delhi, and that is with permission. So imagine how many more trees are getting cut down without permission. It's a much bigger number, right? So we're doing pretty good so far. We have a lot of more topics to cover really quickly. Let me just have some green tea first. Yeah, so there was one funny news where some politician has put up their posters on the roadsides to get votes, I guess, to advertise themselves, right? And there was a video where a dog went over there and was pulling the poster down. So the thing is that the video went viral, and then the politicians, or I think that party, has gone and lodged a complaint to the police. So there's an FIR lodged against a dog who was removing the posters. So that's quite funny. When people want FIRs for other serious matters, then the police hesitate to file a complaint. But against a dog, they did not hesitate much. Or maybe they did, I don't know. But right now there's an FIR for the dog. Now, we saw one auto-rickshaw, which was, it's an auto-rickshaw. It's a 3-wheeler, motorized, like a vehicle. It's a cab, which takes people around in the city. And right now, Delhi is so hot. So this auto-rickshaw has put plants on top of his auto-rickshaw, like herbs. I saw, I think, even a banana plant, which it can't actually grow fully tall on an auto. But right now it's quite small, and he's put some ferns, put some grasses. So if all of this can be done on many more vehicles, then it can compensate a little bit for the trees which have gone missing, plus to absorb all the pollution. It's a moving air purifier which doesn't require electricity on it, or it doesn't waste to energy plants. You're burning the garbage to create electricity, but all that garbage is going into the air, and if you have more plants around, then the air is going to be much cooler and much more cleaner. Now, right near Delhi is Noida, and in another piece of news, we saw that 158 acres of forest is going to be acquired for creating a new airport in Noida. 158 acres. That's not a small amount. I mean, if you try to walk around 158 acres today, how many kilometers is that going to be? So that's quite a big green space which is going to go in such a polluted area. Is it going to improve the pollution? Is it going to make it worse? You'll have to think about that for yourself. If you have studied some stuff about trees and about air pollution, then you will realize that places which have more trees have less pollution. So speaking of which, we have this other story that we were talking about, the Nicobar Island project, where this really amazing piece of nature, the corals, the forest, the mangroves, everything over there, the tropical wildlife, all of that is going to be destroyed to do some other concrete projects over there. And now there's a story which came out yesterday about basically the tribal council had withdrawn the NOC, the non-objection certificate, for the Nicobar plan. That was the story. And basically what it means is that just after the tsunami, a lot of these people were removed from that place. The tribal people were removed from that space because of the danger of the tsunami. And after that, that same space which they were planning to go back to, that same space is now being destroyed and used up for this construction project, which they did not approve of because they have to approve of it. It's their land, and yeah, that project is still going on. So you should also weigh in on this. You're a person of this planet, and all the resources of the planet should belong to all the people of the planet, right? So if you are a person of this planet and your planet is getting destroyed, your resources for your future generations is getting destroyed, then don't you want to do something about it? Maybe you can write a letter, maybe you can put something on your social media, and do whatever it takes, whatever skills you have or whatever networks you have. You can make a difference and maybe try to save some of these islands or these tribal people. This has happened in other parts of the world throughout history, where the tribal people are taken advantage of. I mean, the local people of the lands, they lose their land for outsiders. So, but now in this case, the outsiders are within the same nationality, but on the mainland, far, far away. Anyway, so yeah, just don't sit there thinking that somebody else is going to go fix the problems, because that way, if everybody thinks like that, then actually nobody ends up going to fix the problem. But if you become the person that has to start fixing the problems, then you'll notice that there are many more people who get influenced by you or who are on the same track as you, and then you will meet them and they're all working on the same thing with their different skills. There's more news coming about the no PDA in Bangalore Cubbon Park. So PDA is public display of affection, where they don't want people to be affectionate with each other in the park. And they also said that no food and no games. So basically, no picnics will happen anymore. People are living in this hectic life in the cities, and they want to go to the park to be in nature. They don't want to go alone, they want to go in a group. And sometimes they feel hungry or they get bored, they want to play a game. And that's what basically a picnic is. But now, if you have no more games there, no more food there, and no more PDA for the young couples over there, or even old couples, okay, so then what is the place going to be left for? Just for walking? I mean, is it just going to be an exercise area, or is it going to be a place for leisure? That's what we need, places for leisure, right? We have so many sports which are played on the grass, and if you don't have a grassy area, if you play it on concrete, you're probably going to get hurt. So if you don't allow the small kids to play in the grass, then you're stealing their childhood away. That's just my opinion. I don't know what you feel like, but maybe my opinions change later. Maybe it was different before, but for now, this is my opinion. There was a story of somebody had posted a really informative video. Basically, they showed a cat which was hanging on the side of a ledge, and that cat was going to fall down maybe like 20 feet or 30 feet onto the audience of people. So everybody saw the cat and they were all trying to save the cat, and when the cat fell down, they managed to save the cat. They caught the cat in a piece of cloth. And then right after that, they showed another clip. In that same video, they showed another clip where animals of the same size, they were being thrown around just because they're used as food, as livestock. There were some small piglets, I think. Yeah, they were piglets, and they were being thrown around, smashed against the wall by the transporters. Okay, and There was no human outcry. Nobody was trying to save those animals like the way they were saving that cat, which was going to fall down from the balcony. So these animals, these are also exactly the same creatures, just in a different body, and they were being thrown around, so they also have life in them. And if you've interacted with the pigs, they're quite smart, they're intelligent like dogs. We've seen a video where somebody had trained a pig to sit down, shake hands, roll over, all the same tricks which dogs do. So the pigs were smart enough to follow all those tricks, and they're just not eaten, they're treated as family, as pets inside people's homes. But in other parts of countries, dogs, cats, pigs and all other creatures are slaughtered, and there's cruelty, and then people are eating the carcasses. So if you have veg options, it's much better, it's going to make you live much longer, and you'll have healthier lives. Plus all your religions also must be telling you at some point or the other to, for a certain amount of time, you should eat only fruits and veggies and no non-veg or no alcohol or something. So for that period of time, it's making you pure, and if you just stay that way for the entire year, or not just that one season, not just one festival, but if you follow that diet or that kind of lifestyle for the entire year, then imagine how much more pure you would be. So nature is the way. And that brings us to the next thing, since we're talking about food and nutrition. There was another video about the Bournvita scam. Now Bournvita it's like a powder thing which you mix in the milk, and young children drink that. So there's one guy, I think his name is Food Pharma, with PH Pharma. So he looked at the ingredients of the Bournvita packet, and he sees that most of the ingredients talk about just different types of sweeteners. Plus there was also one ingredient which causes cancer, the caffeine flavor, the coffee flavor or something, caramel flavor, sorry. So because of his video, the video went really viral, and then apparently the company sent them some legal notice. And since it's a really big company, they have a lot of money and resources. And this person, he's an engineer he wasn't an engineer. He was studying abroad. He had a big job, and then he left that to come to India and talk about the nutrition in our food. So now after the legal notice, he has deleted the videos, but the rest of the people around the country are still sharing that video and talking about it. So is anybody going to take any action against this? Or should any action even be taken or not? Because of all the misadvertisement, because it tells you that it's going to improve your immunity, it'll make your brain better, it'll make you stronger. So is someone going to check the facts on this? What's going to happen next? Now, this is the season for mango seeds. Everybody's eating mangoes every day now. All the mango seeds which you're getting from your fruit, most of them get thrown away in the garbage. And when you throw your mango seeds in the garbage, it doesn't turn into a tree. Mostly it would go into the waste to energy plant, or it would just rot and get spoiled. I've seen this. I've worked with a lot of mango seeds. I've grown a lot of mango saplings which we planted also. So we have this campaign where people from all over the country send us their mango seeds. Even right now, I got a message this morning from a school in Pune, funnily enough. They are collecting the mango seeds and they want to send it to us, but I think it would be much better if they plant it right there because of the carbon footprint also. Plus, every city needs their own trees maximized. Okay. Anyway, so if you can plant the seeds at home, plant it in any container, put some soil in it, and let it grow for at least a year or two. When it's about 4 or 5 feet, then it'll be ready to go into the ground. So you have a couple of years to figure it out. If you can't do it by yourself, then you can send it to us. We'll plant it for you, and we'll use it in the different plantation drives that we have in the monsoon period. The best time to plant the sapling in the ground is the monsoon period, because they get watered properly and the entire soil stays moist. We are almost at the end of the podcast, so there's still a couple of things. In Morocco, there was a video where a bunch of goats, like more than 20 goats, climbed on top of a tree, and this tree was just on the side of the road, and the goats had reached the high up branches, and they were eating the leaves of the trees. Goats have amazing climbing abilities, and we've seen videos of goats on the mountainsides, how they get up there, how they get down. That's quite a miracle, but they know where to keep their feet. We put out a blog a couple of days ago about e-waste, so check that out. It's on our website, ndns.in. It's a blog. This blog is about e-waste, all the electrical waste which gets thrown out of your house. So things that you can do with that, some options that you can look out for, and also some pointers like important tips. For example, sometimes you might just throw out a USB if it's broken or something, or any old device which has basically memory or your data in it. So before throwing out these things, you should always remove your data and then throw it wherever. Send it to any proper recycler, e-waste recycler. So all the information is given there. We've even given some links, so check it out, and that will help you make the world a better place. Lastly, there was this there was a tweet. There were a couple of tweets about Elon Musk. I was going to call him Elon Mars. Elon Musk is taking people to Mars, right? So there was this simulation video which I saw, how people are going to live on Mars. And would you go to Mars right now if you could? If you were paid enough money, what will you do with all that money on Mars? What could you buy? What will you invest that money in if you're on Mars? So I had replied to Elon Musk, I think, on that tweet that which trees are you going to plant on Mars? Because trees are the main pillar for the civilization. If you don't have trees around, then you won't have any food, you won't have any insects, birds, the whole food cycle collapses. So without trees, life is going to be tough over there. So I suggest that if you are planning a second civilization on another planet, you need to have a lot of trees over there first. Once you have the trees, then you can have other small microbes and micro biodiversity, which will then lead to its own evolved other megafauna. With that, you'll have more different types of birds and insects which adapt to that Martian environment. And when you send humans over there, people are going to be dependent on their oxygen tanks. But if you have a lot of trees, the oxygen will get created by the trees. Plus, you need ozone layer. We can talk a lot about all this stuff. There's no ozone layer over there, so they're going to have this glass dome situation where everybody will have to live under that. Plus, you can't pay someone for things. There's no currency on Mars right now, and you just have to help each other out, and that's the basic rule of life. Why do we have all this knowledge and power and technology? It's to help each other out, not to compete against each other. Because if you go on this new planet with a group of people, imagine if you're there with 20 or 50 or 100 people, then are you going to start competing for the resources, or are you guys going to share the resources so that the entire civilization can live happily? So the things that you're going to try to do correctly on another planet, if we just do it correctly over here, then maybe we don't need to go to another planet. Although I know that it's a good option to have a civilization on a second planet, just in case there's a asteroid flying through space and destroys one planet, that's going to be the end of all human civilization in one shot. But if you have some of the civilization on another planet, then at least there's a backup, right? Backup civilization. So I'm going to leave you with all these thoughts for today. So thank you all for listening, and please keep sharing our podcast everywhere. We're getting a lot of more listeners these days. It's all because of your support. So check out our video also on YouTube. You'll get to see the new duck that is hanging on the podcast mic. If you see that duck, don't forget to leave a like. Okay, thank you all for watching. Catch you guys next time. Bye.